All right, good morning, everyone. It is Thursday. A little late, but week's kind of gotten away from me, to be honest. As you can see here in the background, this is the same model room that I've been doing the videos in. Everything's off the wall, holes are patched. A lot of other stuff going on. Model room is packed up. All the completed builds are over at the new house. I don't want the guys to handle those. They're already over there. The entire print room is over there except for maybe two cabinets. So all the printers are there. More on that update here in a little bit. Just want to give a quick heads up of what's going on. First off, on the rant, I feel I have to reiterate my shipping policies once again. Had some issues with an individual there who isn't happy with my time to ship. Just again to reiterate, I have a 10 business day lead time. So actual 14 days from the time that you put your order in on eBay until the time I have to ship it. I have my notes off the side over here. Rarely does it take that long, but as busy as I've been over the last several weeks before we closed, a lot of that really pushed me up. There for a couple weeks, I was knocking on that 2 week door. Nothing was late. Just there for a little bit. It was super tight. And then the last, I would probably say 15 or 20 orders were super easy. They were mostly parts. So, tire kits, engines, and stuff like that that I can actually put multiple pieces on, on one plate. So those are super easy to get caught up on. I won't mention names, but I will mention the situation. Individual purchased a kit, and not his first one. Same questions arose, on the first couple purchases. Next day, hey, are you shipping ship? Did you ship the kit today? I just reiterate, as always, when somebody asks that question, I always reiterate my shipping policy. A lot of people aren't questioning the policy, just curious as to when, their kit's going to ship. And no problem answering questions, nothing whatsoever. Same question the next day. Has this shipped? No. Went into, a deeper dive, let him know that, hey, your kit's due to ship out the 27th. Currently printing stuff on, the 23rd right now. Should go out within the next couple of days. That's, how it's set up. At this point, it was, I was a little bit further ahead. Kind of let him know what was going on. So then actually sent me a really nasty email the next day stating, good sellers ship the next day, all this other stuff, trying to pressure me into shipping it sooner. No, not going to happen. I don't jump around orders. If there's orders due out the same day and some of them are easy to print, I'll print the easier ones first to get those out of the way and then open up the printers for their harder ones. That's usually how I'll do something. Or if I have multiple sales of the same kit, maybe over a day or two, I will run those multiple times because there's no sense of flipping back and forth. I'm already on them. Just restart the printers and roll on. So had to reiterate my shipping policy to the guy. Kind of disappointed because, like I said, the first couple transactions went by smooth. He did kind of try and dig me on scale. He wants a smaller scale. What I've learned that I need to do when someone questions anything, I take pictures before I ship everything, especially when dealing with scale. The smaller scales. So I actually had the BBC measurements from a flyer on the actual truck, and then sent him a picture of my calipers and they were dead nuts. So that ended that conversation. Then sent me a picture the next day. It was already built, and everything was fine. So I was like, all right, you have to be careful. And I'm not saying this what this guy was trying to do, but you have to watch out for scams. People want refunds, but they don't want to send the product back. I don't refund like that. I'll give you a refund with no problem, but you're going to do it through correct eBay channels. I don't just send a refund. I will on shipping. If shipping overages are there, I always do. And I have a change to that as well. Also a change to the shipping policy coming up at the end of this rant. I'll let everybody know. So that was, kind of disheartening there. So just again, reiterated my selling policy. I'm adhering to my policy, and then send him a screenshot of my seller diagnostics or whatever you want to call it. I have 0 lates, 0 issues. Everything's uploaded 100% on time. Just I'm not wasn't trying to screw him over or anything. The biggest issue on this, and this is how I do everything, and I want to make sure everyone understands this. I'll use the dates for this one. When I put something in the printer, what I put in the printer that morning, I will go in and I will create a shipping label for what I just put in the printer. Say it's on a Monday. Say I put something in the printer on a Monday, I open up the shipping label to ship on Wednesday. If Wednesday gets crowded with orders, there's days I've had 15, 16 orders going out a day on a certain day, I'll move it to the next day. Excuse me. So this one right here was set up. I put it in the printer on the 14th. Shipping label was created on the 14th for shipping on the 16th, or for the 17th. The 16th was a holiday. That was President's Day, so nothing was open. This individual, and he hounded me on it multiple times. You shipped the package already. I have no tracking. You're a lousy shipper. No, that's not what it, and I go back and reiterate again. No, just because I created the shipping label does not mean it's been shipped. You can pretty much count on seeing tracking within the next 2 days. Let him know that. Again, I threw a bunch of nasty emails at me, which is fine. That's part of doing the job. And then on the 17th, everything was picked up. Everything was picked up. I sat there and watched the mail person carry everything out to their truck. Now this was a backup mail person. Not my regular mail person. My regular mail person scans everything at the porch when they pick them up. I just happened to hear this individual because they dropped one of the boxes. I heard him. I heard everything out of there at the porch. This individual does not. They just pick them up and put them in the van. So now your entry scan into the system doesn't happen until it gets back to the post office. Normally, you can see on the tracking, USPS is in possession or postal scan created at such time. So none of that was done. So now the individual fires off another email on the 18th. I have no tracking. You need to send me a refund. No, give it. I just replied, please give it time. I ship over 50 packages a week. I see this happen all the time. I have seen packages with no tracking get to the customer, and the only tracking that I get is out for delivery or delivered. That's the only tracking I get. So I tried to explain that to him. Just, hey, relax. I see this happen all the time. Just wait. It'll pop up. It's been picked up. Well, and then, the negative feedback issue and all this other stuff popped up, and I'm like, I really don't care about that. Because I have documentation of everything showing when it was, created and printed and all that, my policy and everything. This kit actually shipped 7 days early. I was able to fit it in and get it done. Wasn't due to ship out to the 27th. It was picked up the 17th. I'm well within all of my documented policies, so not super worried about it. Most of my negative feedback is BS. I think I have, out of the last year, over 1,200 feedbacks. I wish everybody would leave feedback. That would be great. But I have 6 negative. 5 of those are BS. One of the last ones was an individual was pissed off because they didn't get a transmission with their engine. Yeah, because there wasn't one. It was an engine, and it stated engine only. Another one was I didn't know this was resin printed. Documented right in the description that it's 3D resin printed, multiple times. Even in the top of the order where it says it, a resin printed model. So like I said, and then there was one that I did ship the individual the wrong kit, but instead of getting a refund or sending it back, he wanted me to send replacement parts, which I have no problem doing. And I've made mistakes like that before, and I get the replacement parts out to them immediately. But the replacement parts on the kit that on the correct kit would not have fit on that kit. So I told him, I said, you have to open up a return the kit, and I will send you the correct one. I have no problem doing that. Created a whole nother issue, negative comments, everything else, which is fine. It doesn't faze me. eBay doesn't put a ton of thought or how they treat you as a seller based on your negative feedback. So I'm sure if you had a negative feedback rating, a feedback rating of less than 50% or so, I'm sure they would do some things. But mine's 99.5, I think. So not super worried about it. Anyway, but that one was legitimate to a point to where I screwed up, but what they wanted in return, one, wouldn't have worked, and two, just the outcome was just going to be bad anyway. The outcome with this guy is going to be bad no matter what, because he just put in for a return, says there's parts missing. So, and I'm already prepared for the negative feedback. I already have the answer to everything in my brain. Again, I take pictures now before I ship out anything. Too many times my dogs are playing. Too many times I get issues saying something's missing, and it's always the cool parts. Because that fact being, I would have these parts laying around. But anyway, I do forget stuff. Please don't get me wrong there. I do forget stuff. But there's also orders that I know that I'm correct on. So now I take pictures of pretty much everything before it goes out, just to make sure. Let's see what else we got. So again, that I'm sitting there waiting for that. Created their return shipping label, and we'll see how it returns. I know they've already taken it off the sprues and everything. Smaller stuff I don't take off the sprues. I usually ship it how it is. That's super fragile, so I just ship them on the supports, and I don't let them. I don't ship them. I don't try and take them off. So again, that's how I do my stuff as far as shipping. It is the day that I put it in the printer. I create the shipping label to be picked up for 2 days. 2 days after. We'll see, and that's like I said, that's how it works for me. Now, as far as policy goes, with everything else that I've added, I added all the automotive stuff back in, with also the different scales stuff added. We're at almost 600 parts, 600 different kits, parts, pieces, kits, whatever. I have moved my shipping policy to 20 business days. That's a full month. Not because it's going to take that long, just because I know it's going to be busy, I have some promotions coming up. So just different things I need to be prepared for. So I know, a lot of people are going to like that. There's other folks out there 4 to 6 weeks, which is absolutely understandable, given business and everything else. So for me to try and jam this in 10 business days, it gets tough because, like I said, then you're printing all night, all day. You're running into the print shop there 2 or 3 times a night to knock prints off plates and restart them, taking away from time, with the family and the off time. I am trying to treat this as and I probably shouldn't, but I am. I'm going to try and treat it as it's not definitely not a 9 to 5, but a 5 to 5 job, or 8 to 5, or 7 to 5, whatever I can do. I don't want to work the weekends, and I really don't want to be in here a couple times a night. I will if I get behind. I always am. I always do, but just trying to make it, a little bit better. I love what I do. Don't get me wrong. This is the best job, I've had. I've been in management for the last 15 years, trying to manage people. I'm glad I'm out of it. I see what my wife goes through with some of her stuff, and her stuff. Her folks. They have to have degrees and everything for their job. So it's not quite as bad as what I managed there for a while. It's entry level, and then truck drivers, entry level guys in the wash bay, and then truck drivers having to have certain specifications, qualifications to get hired. So, and then just the whole thing and not wanting to work, and we owe them everything, and I'm not going to get into that any more than that. I just don't agree with it. Do what you're told when you're told and how you're told to do it. That's how you work. That's how I still work. I put a ton of effort into what I'm doing right now. Going in and getting out of the print room or getting out of the shop at 5 doesn't mean my day's over, because I cruise through the 3D makers, the designers, and looking for the next file that I can print legally, or that's super cool that I can ask for permission to print. It's a lot more no than it is yes. I'm trying as far as that. Check my notes, make sure I don't get ahead of myself. Trying to make sure that I get some quality stuff. I have a couple designers that are out there that I get to sell their stuff, but man, it's just so toy-like after you scale it and everything. I know Evan Hermel wanted me to do a ProStar kit. I found one, got it from an individual. It was fairly cheap. It's again, sold as a toy. It's a toy. It's all one piece. The cab wise, exhaust and everything, lights, and there's no way. Even if I can separate the parts, there's no way to take the toy-like look out of it. So I won't say it's money wasted. It'd be something cool to have hanging around. But other than that, man, that was a waste. Several of them out there. The trailer that came with that truck was super cool. Again, it's very toy-like there at the end. So not worth pursuing. That designer does have a couple cabs that they have. I already have one sold, and I already have one that's going to be in the queue here soon. It's another Freightliner cab over. So we'll just see how that goes. Going through what I have to put in the store yet. Constantly buying new stuff. Constantly. Whether I can sell it or not. Constantly buying it. My policy, my thought process, if I buy it and I'm interested in it, I show interest to the designer. I always send them a link to the store so they see where I'm coming from. Like I said, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but I always buy what I want to sell first. And it's just a cool addition. If I can sell it, I can. If I can't, I can add it to a model and just document it from there. Right now, I have over 50 truck kits. Even with everything that we've put in here over the last several months, I still have 50 truck kits that I need to scale and get listed, along with all their variants. So that's working. Man, again, that's another reason why to go to so many printers for me. I can actually start test printing while I'm doing orders instead of just being stuck doing orders and test printing on the weekends. The area that we moved into is called Mandarin in Jacksonville, full of fun things to do. We're foodies, we love to eat. We love new places to go explore. So it's just off the river. So a lot of stuff to do down there. So really looking forward to that, and that's the weekend. Going out and doing things. I don't want to be stuck in the print room on the weekends when I can be out enjoying spring, summer, winter, and fall here in this new area. So lots of stuff there. I think if you've seen the Facebook page, you've seen the new trailer that I put out, and that is, boy, I forgot the designer's name. I think it's Marikar, I believe. Don't get me wrong. I'll have to go back and look because I forgot. But super cool, really, really cool. He also has a skid steer trailer and 2 or 3 campers that I will be scaling and getting ready. I don't believe any of these have wheels, so you'll have to create your own, put your own wheels and hubs on, or once I get back in the shop, I can figure something out to go with it. So that's what I have on that. Not afraid to ask designers questions as far as, hey, can you sell this? I just purchased three engines, an N14, an ISX, Lord, and another Cummins. Not cheap. Don't know if I'll be able to sell them or not. Something I can do is give them away. That might be something to look at. We'll see how that goes. Maybe one in every 10 kids gets a free engine or something. I don't know. Maybe use it as a promotion. Hey, look at there. Maybe I'll use it as a promotion. For every 5 purchases, you get a free engine kit of your choice. Most of these are already plumbed and wired, and I scaled and printed a couple before I shut the printers down, and getting my support set to where everything just peels off beautifully, and we don't lose anything. We don't lose any of that detail. Sometimes it prints off a little thin. You're going to get what you get, if that's where we go as promotion wise, because there were a couple of the parts that came off from the print, but they glue right back on. So it's like when they make them, they don't insert them far enough to where they actually adhere to the kit. They come off on the supports, come off, pop them right back off, and you can glue them back on. So that's not a bad thing. So that might be something we do. I've got something to say about something I just heard myself do. It goes back to, I'm a huge Cubs fan. It goes back to Harry Carey. So I'll say something here about it in a minute before I get this other stuff off my mind. Always looking for quality stuff. So just, keep that in mind. Everybody's really loved the stuff that we've had so far. I'm super excited about what the future brings. Show exposure. I know several guys have my shop cards and are going to shows here starting in March. So that general exposure is going to be huge. Guys over in the model car maker forum A lot of good reviews over there of the stuff. So really hoping that starts to open the door, and really takes off on this side. Again, I want to be a vendor at some shows, so hopefully I can get some stuff created. Chris Bell over at Scale Speed Garage reached out last week and asked if I would be interested in being one of the sponsors for the truck division at their upcoming model show. Gladly, yes. So I did that, sent him some goodies, sent some stuff over to Josh Reese. And he replied that the stuff looked really good. He was super excited to get it out there, and let me know that some of the praise that he gave me was really taken to heart and much appreciated. So there's some more exposure there. Hopefully that opens up a few more doors, just for people to understand. Hey, this guy's out here. Again, I think one of the things quality wise, we're putting out some really great quality stuff. Tweaking that as we go to make everything even better. Constantly learning a ton of stuff from Chris and Josh. Also YouTube. Won't deny that whatsoever. There's some stuff from a couple guys that I watch religiously there. That I throw in the mix as well. So everything looks very, very good coming up. I know Alex Molnichak made reference to some stuff in the latest issue of Model Magazine, one of the model magazines. That's awesome. Hopefully there's another review coming out of a print that I did for him. If not, it's fine too. He's a busy man. So, but then again, that just creates more awareness. Let's see. Funny. All right, going into the next update. It's the move update. Look, I spent all day yesterday over at the house. A good part of the day, about 5-6 hours with the electricians. The new 20 amp service is in. Add the hood receptacles and stuff are in. Also, like I said, added some 20 amp service for the new printers. The printers only take half an amp per printer. Some of the new ones, with the heaters are taking 1.5 to 2. I just didn't want to test the circuit and realize that I can only run 10 printers. Over here, I was running 11 on a 15 amp service with an air conditioner, all my curing stations, a fan running 24/7. Did see a few glitches here and there, but never lost power. But I don't want to run into that situation where that house is older than this one. Wiring's fairly no issue with the old wiring or anything, but I just don't want to run into any issues. So the big boys I can just purchased will plug into their own outlet. They have their heaters and that run constantly and everything. So won't be any issues there. Just don't want to even think about any issues. Put a couple of the racks together while I was waiting for the electricians to finish. I bought 4 racks. Each rack can break down into 2. So I'll have probably a total of 5 to 6 racks with all the printers on them, up to, I think I get 16 printers on a set of 4 or 5 racks. And then have a pack station, curing station, cleaning station, and all that over on the side of the room where the hood is. Looking forward to that. I picked the hood up tomorrow. It's a monster 4-foot, 1,500 cubic foot per minute fan. So really looking forward to getting that installed. That way I can get over there and get everything set up. The wife wants me to hang blinds this weekend. So I'll be out doing that most of this weekend. It's needed. I'm not going to lie. First house I've ever purchased, the window treatments are not there, period. So, which is fine. But got all that done. Put a gate up already for the dogs there in the backyard so they wouldn't get in the open side of the yard. Just again, super excited for all that. Movers are due to be here on the 7th to move everything else. I think I've already said it. I have the print rooms over there, models that I don't want the guys to touch. They're already over. I did find several boxes of models that didn't make the previous move. I have those over there. I don't need them to get any more further destroyed than what they are now. Unfortunately, they were some pretty good kits. Three of the triaxle wreckers, even with them being wrapped and secured, didn't make the move. Axles broke. Easy repairs, I believe. So I think that's probably going to be a lot of what I do when I get back after I finish this 925, is just get in there and get those back up. I have a ton of space in the new model room that I can put shelves up, so I'll be able to display, I'll get them fixed and able to display. I also had a record. It was an international record. It was green and white. It was a 4070. It was a green and white, and it had an enlarged boom system from Scale Speed Garage. I thought it looked super nice. Very interesting. Small parts broke on that. Frame, suspension pieces broke, front suspension, all that. So shouldn't be a hard repair. Just need to get it done and get it back out on the shelf. Other than that, that's pretty much it for that. Like I said, racks are up, printers. Hopefully have those set up this week. Not going to the house today. That's why I'm able to make the video. Just I do have to run over to hazardous waste here in Jacksonville to get rid of some alcohol that is past its recycling prime, and then get rid of some junk resin. The guys here at the facility, they don't like it because I even bring them resin soaked trash. That's, they get rid of. They don't like it, but they keep telling me to throw it away. I can't. But there's probably some changes of what I do coming up there. So it's always a fun trip when I go down there. They don't mind the alcohol. I don't think they're going to like the resin because on their website it's not listed anywhere as hazardous. So, and I can't be the only 3D printer in Jacksonville. So our girls are playing. What next? I purchased. Ryan Padron sent a link to me here a couple weeks ago. It's from Aladdin Models, and I'll put a picture of it up here when I edit this. It's a Pacific P16. It's currently in 1/32 scale. Currently can't sell it. Having conversations with them, I don't think it's going to happen because they're in the process. That I'm not the only one that's ever asked them that question. So they're in the process of updating some of their policies. Don't know if it'll ever happen or not. If it does, this thing will be a huge seller because it is absolutely gorgeous. Haven't printed it yet. I have it all sliced. It's all ready to go. But it's a gorgeous model. Really look forward to hopefully getting that and being able to sell it, being able to upscale that in the 1/24th and 1/25th scale. Again, it's just absolutely gorgeous. So that there, and then they had a free download of a T-34 85, one of the late World War II model Russian tanks. I've been a big military modeler for a lot of years. It's really where I learned how to do all my weathering and stuff that I do. Just love the World War II stuff as far as the research. Man, you can build 20 of the same tank. but it's been in different theaters, different countries during this theater. So there's always something to build. Commanders, you can build it so many different ways. Excuse me. So have that. Look forward to building that. It's in 1/35th scale as well. So again, I'll have pictures of the Pacific truck coming up. So what I'm working with two designers on a couple kits, cab kit, and then I'll just say, for emergency response. Just patiently waiting my time in the queue, and totally understand they're busy. I get it. I understand. I'll patiently wait my turn. These will be very, very welcome in both communities. So just let everybody know about that. A few months ago, I haven't had time to go back. The wife and I popped into Hurricane Hobbies, which now I am only 4 minutes away from. Yay. My wife. That's not what my wife said, but anyway, I went out to them and asked them, do you guys sell 3D printed stuff? They were very open to the idea of selling 3D printed stuff, and the biggest thing there for me would be one, again, branding, getting more exposure, and bringing more traffic into their shop. So I think that would be a great positive, to have a location where I can have 15 or 20 resin kits sitting up there. That'd be pretty cool. So working on that as well. A couple other questions for some stuff that I'm not at liberty to say. I cannot wait till I can not say that and let everybody know what's going on. Good or bad, positive or negative. I'll definitely let you all know. But again, just super, super excited about everything that's coming out. Everything, all the possibilities coming on. So again, super excited. I think that's about it for today. The one thing that I wanted to go back about the Cubs fan. Anybody that knows Harry Carey, huge Cubs fan. We'd listen to him on the radio. We'd listen to him, watch him watch the Cubbies on TV. Growing up all my life until Harry, retired, passed away. Something that I noticed in a couple of videos, Harry Carey would start doing that about the third inning, after the third or fourth Budweiser, during the game, and that's all you could hear him do for so long. He'd go over to the radio side in the middle innings, and then by the time he got back over to the TV side, he'd already had 3 more Budweisers, 4 more Budweisers, and it just got to be even more and more noticeable. I did notice in the last couple of videos that I was doing it. I am Budweiser free, just so you know. That's just me. So I will try and watch that, because it can be irritating. So I do apologize for it, but just a little Cubs nostalgia there for everybody. Just did it again. Everybody, I don't know if I'll be able to post next week. I will try and get one out. I still want to post 2 or 3 more of these a week. So we'll just see how it plays out. Everybody, thanks for all you do. Thanks for your participation. Go over, join our Facebook group. There will be a giveaway when we hit 2,000 subscribers or 2,000 followers, whatever they freaking call it over there. I missed the 1,500 blew by. It was 1,400 one day, 1,700 the next day. Super happy with that. Same thing with the YouTube side. Guys, go over. Please join, like, subscribe. Get that side of everything growing as well. There will be a free kit giveaway once we hit 2,000 members, and we are at last glance, I believe, 1967, something like that. All right. All right, everybody. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. Be safe. I think the next rant will be about Jacksonville drivers and everything, how they don't know how to freaking drive. But carrying on, you all have a great one. I'll talk to you next time.